Hi, ever considered what it truly means to be a failure? In our world today, failure is often depicted as a grim reaper, the end of a dream or an aspiration. It's viewed as an insurmountable setback, a dark cloud that obscures the path to success. Society, in its collective wisdom or lack thereof, has painted a rather grim picture of failure. It's seen as something to be feared, to be avoided at all costs. This perception has created a culture where we're more inclined to play it safe rather than risk falling flat on our faces. But let's pause for a moment and ponder. Is failure really the monster it's made out to be? Is it the end of the road, or could it be a detour, perhaps even a road less traveled, leading to an unexplored destination? Failure, however, is not the end. Rather, it's the beginning of a journey that leads to success. Meet Thomas, a man who experienced failure in its rawest form. Thomas, a once successful businessman, found himself amidst a storm of misfortunes. First, the loss of his job. The company he had devoted a good part of his life to announced massive layoffs, and Thomas was one of the casualties. His world began to crumble, but the worst was yet to come. Financial troubles soon followed. Bills piled up, savings dwindled, and the specter of bankruptcy loomed large. Thomas was drowning in a sea of debt, grappling with the harsh reality of his situation. The comfort and stability he had become accustomed to were now a distant memory. Next, the final blow. His spouse, unable to cope with the mounting stress, chose to leave. Thomas was not only left with a broken heart, but also the overwhelming sense of having failed those he loved most. He was now alone, grappling with the ruins of a life that was once filled with joy and success. The weight of these failures bore heavily on Thomas. He found himself at the precipice of despair, staring into the abyss of hopelessness. But here's where Thomas's tale takes an unexpected turn. In the midst of his darkest hour, Thomas never stopped trying. He chose to see his failures not as the end, but as stepping stones on his path to recovery. He began seeking new opportunities, no matter how small. He worked odd jobs, tightened his belt, and slowly started rebuilding his life from scratch. He accepted his failures, learned from them, and used them to fuel his journey forward. He realized that he could either wallow in self-pity, or he could rise, dust off the dirt, and keep moving. And he chose the latter. Thomas's story is a testament to the power of resilience and determination. His failures, while painful, became the catalyst for a transformation. His journey was not easy, far from it, but he found strength in his struggles, courage in his failures. And so Thomas, in the face of adversity, chose to embrace his failures, not run from them. What can we learn from Thomas's story? Let's take a moment to reflect on the key takeaways from his narrative. The story of Thomas is a classic illustration of the power of resilience and determination. Despite the hurdles and setbacks he faced, Thomas never let failure define him. Instead, he embraced it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Failure, while often viewed negatively, has the potential to be a great teacher. It can provide us with insights and lessons that success frequently fails to offer. It can show us our strengths, reveal our weaknesses, and ultimately guide us towards improvement. Thomas's story also underscores the significance of maintaining a positive mindset. When we face failure, it's imperative that we keep our spirits high and continue to strive for our goals. It's not about how many times we fall, but how many times we choose to get back up. In Thomas's words, failure is not falling down, it's refusing to get back up. So how should we view failure? It's high time we reimagined our perception of failure. It's not a full stop at the end of a sentence, rather it's a comma, a pause before we embark on a different route. Picture failure as a detour, not a dead end. It's a scenic route that often leads us to a better destination than we first envisioned. Think of failure as an integral part of life's continuous learning process. It's a powerful tool that helps us grow, evolve, and become more resilient. It's the tough love that life gives us to mold us into our best versions. It's the stepping stone to success. We must embrace failure, not fear it. Let's welcome it as a friend who is brutally honest, who tells us when we are wrong and guides us in the right direction. Remember, without failure, there can be no real success. So next time you face a setback, ask yourself, what will I learn from this? Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.